This is a wonderful episode. So Sean Perry said, basically, a headline, be so good you can't be ignored. Basically, what that means, and I'll go through exactly what he says. I'll read word for word exactly what he said, so you don't just get my interpretation, because my interpretation is blah, 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 blah. You get his professional interpretation as well, his professional wording. So be so good you can't be ignored. Basically means if you want to meet somebody, if you want to be on a par with somebody, if you want to be friends with somebody, or somebody has some sort of standing in life, whether it be a professional footballer, professional rugby player, somebody who's a CEO of a company, somebody, I don't know, whatever it may be, then you can't really go up to them and be a fanboy. You can, if they're on a pedestal up here, and up here, imagine 100%, you can't then go to them at 75% and be a fanboy and connect with them and be friends with them, because you'll always be the person 75% of the totem pole, and that person, totem pole, I don't know. I've been doing signs at work. And that person will be always 100%. And so they'll all, in the relationship, it'll always be you wanting to be their friend and them not too bothered. So what you should do is be so good at something they can't be ignored. I'll give you one example. There's a famous sportsman who slid into my DMs because he wanted to learn self-storage. And so if I was a fan of this particular sport, then if I slid into his DM saying, hey, I love what you do, by the way, nothing. Crickets. Because why? Because they're on a pedestal, I'm down here. What can I offer them? That relationship? Well, we don't really know, but there's so many people who try to contact this person and it will just get lost in the mess. Now, because I'm so good I can't be ignored at self-storage, because I've got a podcast, a newsletter, etc., then I'm so good that they can't be ignored. So therefore, it changes the balance of a relationship. This person, famous person, why here, wants a relationship with me because I'm good at self-storage. And so therefore, you are now equals, because he wants something from you, and therefore it becomes, I'm so good he can't be ignored. And so therefore I've climbed that fan pole, if you like, to the very, very top, because normal fans wouldn't get an interaction with him, because he wouldn't put them on a pedestal. He wouldn't put them on the same pedestal. He wouldn't put them on the same platform, where now it's on the same platform. I told you I wouldn't, my analogy would be rubbish. Right, I'm going to read what Sean Perry said. Be so good you can't be ignored. Sean Perry mentioned it. Basically, it means if you want to get noticed by somebody, just kick butt at what you do. It works professionally and personally, i.e., if you want to meet Warren Buffett, you can't just go up to him and say, hey, you're great. You have to be good, so good at something, it puts you on his radar. And so what does Warren Buffett like? What does he need, etc.? What interests him? You need to be so good at that particular thing, you get on his radar. Once you get on his radar, then you can slide in his DMs. It's like for self-storage, for example. There's some unbelievable operators out there, some brilliant operators. And if I just was a normal Tom, Dick, or Harry without a podcast, then I could ask their advice. I could maybe DM them. Would they get back to me? Maybe, but would they invest time into the relationship? Absolutely not. Now, if I DM anybody in self-storage, because I've got a podcast in self-storage, I've got a newsletter in self-storage, I've spoken around the world about self-storage, then I'm now on their radar. So they now invest time in me because I'm on their radar. And so if you want to get noticed by somebody, you need to be so good at what you do that you get on their radar. Hopefully that makes sense. Right, my friends, I love you. I appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow.